Sky Talk, instant match reaction to our final game over in Germany. Stuttgarter Kickers, we have drawn 1-1 in that game. Let me know, here's my question for the video, let me know what you have made of our pre-season trip. I'm just going to say tour, but trip to Germany. Has it been a successful one? Has it been one where we've learned a lot? Has it been one where you've been a bit disappointed with the results, performances? Let me know. Obviously, first game against Darmstadt wasn't streamed. Second game was streamed against Kaiserslautern. Today's game was streamed. Not the clearest stream, but an opportunity for us to watch Notts play abroad, which, you know, regardless of what's happened, if you've travelled there, what a fantastic opportunity to go and see Notts, you know, play in Europe. Crazy thinking like 4 or 5 years away in the Europa League, so we'll get to see it more then. But no, yeah, great opportunity. So the fans that have been out there, incredible. Credit to you for travelling as well. Obviously not cheap to travel. And regardless of what has happened, regardless of, you know, the game against Kaiserslautern where it was sort of out of sight by 9 minutes, I hope you've had a good time. So yeah, let me know if you've been there as well, what it was like to travel. Maybe it was your first time, maybe you've been for previous games abroad, but let me know. So yeah, we've drawn 1-1. Patterson banged on about, you know, after the Darmstadt game, we want to create a winning momentum, not come to pre-season friendlies just to put in good performances. We haven't done that in any of our 3 games. Yes, Darmstadt and Kaiserslautern were definitely better opposition than us, definitely higher opposition. It's very difficult to sort of work out exactly where people should be and the level they're at. You know, Kaiserslautern, I said maybe top end League One, bottom end Championship. Maybe it was sort of mid to top Championship. Darmstadt, the same, very good. Today, Stuttgarter Kickers down there in the 4th tier, I believe, in Germany. It doesn't quite translate to the 4th tier of English football. I don't think it doesn't quite work, the tier system for there. So let me know where you think they would sort of match in the English pyramid, but definitely not the standard we've played. And in that sense, you know, after seeing the game early on, you're thinking we could go and get a win here, we could get that momentum, even a win in a friendly, get that feel-good factor after being absolutely trounced by Kaiserslautern, receiving that red card for Cotter. Yeah, I just think it would have been nice to get the victory, but we learned things, and Patterson will be learning things about this squad. Game kicks off then, the starting lineup, Lewis McCorry in there, after obviously the betting allegations against him, and the very short statement Notts put out. He gets more minutes in a defence, you know, Nessa McDonald in there. I think, I'll be honest, that starting 11 with 2.5 weeks to go is miles off where we need it to be. Obviously, it's still pre-season. I'm not going to bash, as I've said, the club really too much before the summer transfer window's over, but we're miles off it. And I'm not stupid to think that's the starting lineup we're going to go with on the opening day at Newport. Of course we're not. I'm going to talk about Jody Jones in a minute, talk about obviously Jatta and the trial list, but that's obviously not what we're going to go with. And I just think it screams out that we need reinforcements. Whether those names on that team sheet will change from trialist to Stevenson, Boruc, we'll see. But we need something, and I'll tell you who else needs something. Mai Traore, whether it goes in off his shin, you know, off his backside, he needs a goal. And I said it on the channel before, if he scores that header against Port Vale like 4 minutes into his debut, we could be talking about a different player, but he needs a goal. You know, there's times where he looks really lively, you know, you look to play a bit quicker, maybe put it in behind. When we're slow build up, he looks a bit lost. But I didn't think his performance was too bad. I don't think it was that bad in the second half against Kaiserslautern when, you know, we had to kind of hit them on the brakes. We had 10 men. He needs something. He needs something because we're yet to see, well, we've seen 2 goals. We're yet to see, 3 goals, a striker score in pre-season. We've always had Conor Grant score. We've had Lewis McCorry score against Alfreton and today the goal from McDonald. More on that goal from McDonald. Yeah, it's great to get a goal. It's not a kind of goal I see us scoring much this season. Pinball in the box from a corner. Maybe I'm just so used to seeing short corners all the time. Maybe we'll see a bit more of that. But he scored. He looked pretty decent today, McDonald. I still think he could do a job. Obviously now it's become clear that we probably brought in Sonny Al Joffrey with this in mind about Lewis McCorry. But until anything is sort of proven or any further steps are taken. You give Macari minutes because you never know when he's going to be needed. But yeah, McDonald looks like he could do a job. We knew that last season, but you want him on that left, don't you? And at the minute, Bedou's going to have that locked down, and Bedou could have a stinker of pre-season, and we'll still have that position locked down. Yeah, we looked okay. It didn't blow me away. Nothing blew me away from the game, really. A couple of good performances. Eor Pender looks like he has something about him, doesn't he? Max Borich in goal is still the trialist keeper. Very interesting to see how long he's been a trialist goalkeeper. I'm not sure whether he will be a starting keeper or he's going to be that one we bring in alongside Griffiths to be that other challenger that we spoke about, or whether we're going to spend a bit of bass money on a goalkeeper. He looked decent, a couple of good saves throughout the game, but there's just nothing to blow me away, nothing to get me massively excited in that first half. And a lineup that does need pretty urgent work. And I know the transfer window goes on for a while, but the season kicks off in 2.5 weeks. We've got a behind closed doors friendly, and then we've got Cardiff. So 2 more tests. I think, especially Cardiff, we're going to start with our starting lineup for the season, I think. Second half, we see the introduction of Jody. Fantastic to see him back. Looked dangerous. Right towards the end of the game, has an effort saved. Great to see him sort of playing. I think he did come on very much more advanced in that attacking position, whereas Jarvis, who did have a couple of moments, was playing out wide as a wing back. I don't want to see him playing in that position. I don't want to see him play. And he needs to play much further forward this season. Absolutely has to. But whether that's, not having Nick Cerula available yet, which is a very, very long time after that kind of injury. I thought he'd be back by now, but he's not. We need to see more of him. Obviously, no Costa today, so whether that's Jarvis playing a little bit further back, I don't know. I want to see him further forward. I want to almost see him, not a license to not defend, but I want to see him be able to just attack and seriously attack as well. Because if you leave him up, I'm not saying all the time, but if you leave him to attack, it's going to pen teams back. So yeah, that's obviously great that Jody's come in, but they do score and we don't get, we're 9 minutes away, first minute from getting that goal caught out. We were caught out, I'd say, for every goal against Kaiserslautern. The fourth even was a set piece, wasn't it? But we were caught out again, and I think Patterson will be really, really upset with that. We obviously didn't see or hear Patterson's interview. We got to read it. I was expecting to see. I wanted to see how he reacted to, an awful start to the game against Kaiserslautern and then the red card, but we just had to see it written down on the website. But I think he will be happier with today. As I said, there's nothing in that 90 minutes to absolutely blow me away. The goal it's good to get a goal. It's good to take the lead in a game, which we haven't done over in Germany. It's good to see McDonald playing pretty well. Traore showing glimpses. Eor Pender obviously is looking decent. Is he? We've got to be careful of not putting him as a direct replacement for George Abbott, but he is in that loan system, isn't he? Is he at that level yet? We don't know. George Abbott started slowly. And then obviously, Jody, Jarvis getting some minutes in. Good to see Ness get more minutes in as well. That's obviously really, really important. I think he could be a starter for us this season. But I want to see whether we get much news from that behind closed doors game. I don't know, but I want to start seeing the starting lineup now. Let me know how many more signings we need. I still think we're in the region of 3 to 4. Whether we haven't made these signings because we are in Germany, I don't know. But we've got to see something very, very soon. The Jat situation is still a mystery. I had a message from someone that pretty much said, to the best of their knowledge, and I'm not saying this is through my research, but to the best of their knowledge, the only difference between a Traore and a Jata work or permit to visa would be the difference of like a bit of money, which is not massive, both being outside of the EU nationality wise, and I think they're the only two that would really require one. It's a mystery, and I'm not even going to speculate on it because what's the point? We don't know. But obviously the noise from his agent has died down. You massively behind. The B team are playing tonight. He didn't play in the B team friendly, so he's not getting any match minutes. I don't know if he's playing in tonight's B team friendly, which is actually kicked off 5 minutes ago. We'll have to see. But yeah, let me know what you thought if you watched it. Let me know. I'd love to know your experience of going to Germany. How was it? How did you find it? Has it been a positive experience? What have we sort of gained from this trip? And what do you think what do you think we still need going into this season, which is very, very quickly approaching? Doesn't feel like it should be so close, but it is. Just a reminder, as soon as that home kit's released, keep an eye out on the channel. We'll be giving away a home and away kit. We may even do a cheeky third giveaway. I know there's no room of a third kit, but we might give away a third shirt just to show our appreciation. Please do subscribe to the channel. We've got loads more content coming up. Hopefully in the next few days, another reaction to a sign-in. Pavis Perspective returns very, very shortly as well. We're going to be really going for that this season with the Pavis Perspective. So those of you that are loyal watch on a Thursday, don't you worry. Could do with it tonight. This Thursday with the sort of bad weather coming up. But it's going to be there to enjoy very, very soon. So yeah, leave a like on the video, let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.